spacecraft hiding around Saturn, the mysteries behind it shock the world. Saturn is a special planet. For scientists, it is considered one of the most interesting planets to know in the entire solar system. It highlights that it has a much lower density than water and is entirely composed of hydrogen with a little helium and methane. It belongs to the gas giant type and has a rather peculiar color that makes it stand out from the rest. It has a slightly yellow color and inside it combines small bands of different colors. Many people confuse it with Jupiter, but they are completely unrelated. They are clearly distinguished by their rings. Scientists hypothesize that their rings are made of water but are harder, like icebergs, ice mountains, or some snowballs combined with some special scientific dust. As early as 1610, the rings of the planet Saturn were discovered thanks to Galileo and the telescope. In that discovery, it was learned that the winds blowing around them do so at an unimaginably fast speed. The most important and shocking thing for those who know it is that it only occurs on the planet's equator. So what is special about Saturn? How have scientists and astronomers explored Saturn? Join Mysterious Universe to explore right in today's video. The Dreamweb telescope captured the moment of Saturn's icy moon Enceladus, spraying giant plumes of water vapor hundreds of kilometers high into space. According to NASA, that water vapor plume may contain chemical ingredients for life on the moon. This is not the first time scientists have seen the moon Enceladus spraying water. But the broader view and higher sensitivity of the new telescope show that the water vapor plumes shoot into space much farther than previously perceived. Notably, an international team of researchers stated, the water jets contain methane, carbon dioxide, and ammonia, all of which are organic molecules containing the chemical building blocks necessary for the development of. The moon Enceladus has a diameter of 504.2 kilometers, completely encased in a thick layer of ice. But measurements of the moon's rotation indicate a vast ocean beneath that icy crust. Scientists believe that the water jets detected by JWST and Cassini come from hydrothermal vents at the ocean floor. This is a hypothesis supported by many scientists due to the presence of silica, a common component in Enceladus's crust and in the water vapor plumes sprayed into space. NASA's Cassini spacecraft recently sent back colorful space images of Saturn. Notably, this image shows a strange hexagonal-shaped object. This hexagon was once a top concern for NASA due to its completely unusual shape and properties. Initial findings by scientists indicate that this hexagon is chaotic and unstable compared to wind speeds of 321 kilometers per hour, stronger than the wind speed of a Category 5 hurricane by nearly 80 kilometers. Andrew Ingersoll, a member of the Cassini team at the California Institute of Technology, said, "A storm on Earth usually lasts a week, but storms on Saturn last for decades and sometimes centuries." The Cassini spacecraft was launched into space in 1997 and entered orbit around Saturn, the sixth planet in the solar system. In 2004, Cassini transmitted images of this strange hexagon earlier, but only recently. NASA obtained a short video with full high-resolution and clear colors of this hexagon. Cassini captured images of this hexagon over 10 hours, and thus, the collected images are still in the process of analysis, using color enhancement to distinguish different parts of the storm. However, from the telescope's perspective, it still takes time to provide a more accurate answer. Evidence of extraterrestrial life on Saturn. Cassini spacecraft first detected the presence of methane gas on Enceladus, one of Saturn. After thorough research, experts believe that the methane gas could be a byproduct generated by life activity. A study found that there are some extremely hard to find bacteria on Earth that can survive in the icy conditions of Enceladus. And the latest research conducted in a laboratory on Earth showed that methane is precisely the byproduct these bacteria produce when they metabolize. In other words, if life is hiding on Enceladus, it could be something similar to the bacteria Methanothermococcus okinensis. This is a methane-producing bacterium, a type of bacteria that converts hydrogen molecules and carbon dioxide into methane, found in hydrothermal vents on Enceladus. Scientist Simon Rittmann from the University of Vienna, Austria, shared that he and his colleagues were able to prove that. Therefore, in principle, the methane detected on Enceladus could have a biological origin. According to him, subsequent missions to Enceladus or other icy moons are well equipped to detect biosignatures of methane production by methanogenic bacteria, such as certain lipids or specific isotope ratios. The planet, a moon of Saturn, may appear completely lifeless, but a UFO researcher believes it is home to alien beings. This shocking claim was made after a strange structure was discovered on Saturn's third largest moon, at least 5 kilometers long. Moreover, not just one but many researchers have made this claim. Many added that NASA is trying to conceal evidence of some shocking information. Famous alien hunter Scott C. Waring stated that he was using an iPhone app called Saturn Atlas and noticed a massive black structure on the surface of the moon Titan, a colossal structure about 5 kilometers long, 4 kilometers wide, and 1.5 kilometers high. This area seems completely blurred by NASA to hide it, but it remains very prominent. He searched for many other photos of this moon, yet none showed a similar structure. Many people do not truly trust this discovery, and NASA has claimed that this structure is merely the effect of pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon where the brain sees familiar objects or shapes where they do not actually exist. However, one of NASA's former top engineers had previously predicted that alien spacecraft are using Saturn's rings as hiding places and are multiplying at an alarming rate. This former NASA employee further stated that the number of spacecraft has reached dangerous levels, and authorities should keep an eye on it. A research team led by astronomer Scott S. Shepard of the Carnegie Institution for Science in Washington, USA, observed the collection of these moons through the Subaru telescope in Hawaii. Each newly discovered moon in orbit around Saturn has a diameter of 3 to 6 kilometers. 17 of these moons have retrograde orbits, while the remaining 3 orbit in the same direction as Saturn. 2 of the 3 moons orbiting in the same direction take 2 years to complete one orbit around. Meanwhile, the retrograde moons and the remaining prograde moon take 3 years to complete one orbit. Notably, among these new moons, one is located 24 million kilometers from Saturn, farther than any other moon in the recently discovered set. According to Scott S. Shepard, some moons, like fragments of larger moons, broke apart in collisions with other moons earlier, or passed by comets or asteroids. This is similar to the formation of some of the 79 moons orbiting Jupiter. Previously, since the late 1990s, Jupiter was considered the planet with the most moons, while Saturn is a gas giant composed mainly of hydrogen and helium, the second largest planet in the solar system and the 6th planet from the Sun. Accordingly, Scott S. Shepard said that studying the orbits of these moons could reveal their origins, as well as information about the conditions around Saturn at the time of the planet's formation. A 100-year superstorm on Saturn. Imagine a storm so large that its dark edge encircles the entire planet. Such terrifying superstorms often occur on Saturn. This superstorm is called the Great White Spot, occurring every 20 or 30 years in the planet's northern hemisphere and raging continuously for months. Astronomers have detected 6 of these planet-wide storms on Saturn since 1876. The most recent storm occurred in December 2010 when NASA's Cassini spacecraft, orbiting the planet, recorded the entire 200 days of the superstorm. Now, new research on the 2010 storm has found that those 200 days of thunder were just a drop in the bucket of a much longer, stranger meteorological event. According to recent radio telescope scans, the lingering effects of a superstorm that erupted on Saturn over 100 years ago are still visible in the planet's atmosphere, and they leave scientific anomalies that scientists cannot fully explain. In other words, long after a superstorm disappears from view, its impact on Saturn's weather lasts for centuries. According to the study authors, the implication is that superstorms seem to drive some mysterious ammonia transport processes, pulling ammonia gas from Saturn's upper atmosphere into the lower atmosphere, possibly in the form of hail. These ammonia balls fall into the atmosphere before evaporating back. The researchers wrote that this chaotic process appears to last for hundreds of years after a storm disappears, although the mechanisms behind these atmospheric anomalies and behind Saturn's superstorms in general remain a mystery. Great white spot and even Jupiter. The vast universe always holds mysteries that are hard to explain, and even the enigmatic discoveries around Saturn are no exception. For now, goodbye and see you again.